First update from Force 13 on Tropical Storm Tapah, which is currently located in the Western Pacific, not too far from the Mariana Islands, with wind speeds of 60 miles per hour and an air pressure of 985 millibars right now. Currently located 13.9 degrees north, 147.4 degrees east. The storm's expected to cross the northern Mariana Islands, possibly as a typhoon over the next 24 to 48 hours. Certainly as a strong tropical storm at the very minimum, so that's why we have warnings out there already at the moment. We'll go into that in a moment. The storm's expected to move towards the northwest and could possibly affect one or two of the Japanese islands as well out at sea as it begins to weaken and eventually turn post-tropical or dissipate further north in around 5 days' time. So what conditions are we expected to see? Guam is probably not going to be affected, but islands to the north of that we could see tropical storm conditions, possibly typhoon conditions of course. Tropical storm warnings in effect for the islands of Saipan and Tinian, and further north typhoon watches for virtually all the islands further north of that, in particular Alamagan and Pagan. Typhoon watches in effect there, could be seeing some typhoon conditions. Certainly gusting into typhoon intensities could be quite possible. Sea surface temperatures right now certainly warm enough to sustain tropical cyclone development. 28 degrees Celsius I believe around the area where the storm is, and that's expected to continue for around 2 days' time when the storm exits that area. The latest satellite imagery, you can see quite easily here the direction of the storm moving just east of north. You can possibly see a bit of an eye trying to form in there as well, slightly towards the eastern section of the storm's core, and you can see towards the west there, beyond the islands, a little bit of dry air over there, which could possibly interfere with any development as the storm, once the storm clears those islands in around 24 to 36 hours. But you can see the edge of the storm is affecting those islands right now, but the worst of it is staying offshore at the moment. That's not likely to be the case in around 24, maybe 36 hours as the storm crosses those northern Mariana Islands. As of April the 28th, we currently have 2 systems active. The only storm out there, of course, is the one we're covering right now, Tapah, which is currently located near those northern Mariana Islands, and also an invest in the southern hemisphere 93P, which is not likely to develop. That's currently located near the Solomon Islands. In 2014, so far, we've seen 25 tropical storms. This is the 25th, 9 of which have reached Category 1 hurricane intensity on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale, 74 miles per hour sustained or higher, 9 of them, and 5 of them have reached Category 3 intensity, 115 miles per hour or more. So we're still quite away from any of the other seasons, as you'd expect for this time of year. We're still very early on. You can follow Force 13 on any of its 6 outlets. The website's the main place for all the latest updates, force13.com. But you can also see us on both video mediums, YouTube and Dailymotion. Force 13's on both of those. And of course on the social platforms, Facebook and Twitter. Search Force 13 on any of those. You should find us fairly easily enough at Force 13 on Twitter. And you can also ask questions or just general chatter on Skype at Fool13 for tropical weather, chatter and the like. Next update to follow in a tropical weather bulletin this evening.